What does the Bible really say about friendship? 1. Proverbs 17 verse 17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. A real friend doesn't only show up in moments of celebration or convenience. They remain present in seasons of loss, pain, or difficulty. Adversity becomes the testing ground where friendships either break apart or deepen into unshakable bonds. Where many friendships are based on social media likes, mutual benefits, or temporary interests, this verse calls us to something deeper. The friend who checks on you when you're grieving, who supports you when finances are tight, or who sits silently beside you in your struggles is fulfilling the biblical model of friendship. We should learn how to choose and how to be a friend. We should look for relationships that withstand pressure, and we should also commit ourselves to being steady and reliable for others, not disappearing when things get hard. It may mean bringing meals during a crisis, being available for late-night calls, or simply offering encouragement when someone feels isolated. Before calling someone your closest friend, ask yourself, will they stand by me in adversity? And can I be that kind of person for them? Real friendships are measured not by the number of good times shared, but by the depth of love shown during trials. 2. Ecclesiastes 4 verses 9 to 10. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Friendship is presented as a partnership in strength and support. Life is full of burdens, and trying to carry them alone can be exhausting. True friends share the weight, making challenges lighter and victories sweeter. Imagine two people carrying a heavy piece of furniture. Alone, one might struggle or fail. Together, they can move it easily. This mirrors how friends help each other through life's emotional and spiritual challenges. Praying together, sharing advice, or offering tangible help like money, transportation, or childcare. Beware of isolation. Many people today prioritize independence to the point of loneliness, boasting, "I don't need anyone." Yet when a crisis comes, the absence of supportive friendships becomes painfully clear. The Bible teaches that human beings are designed for community, and prudent friendships are part of that design. Be intentional about building and maintaining friendships. When a friend stumbles, whether into discouragement, temptation, or failure, don't gossip about their fall. Instead, be the one who helps them rise. Likewise, allow others to help you. Vulnerability builds trust and strengthens bonds. 3. John 15 verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Jesus gave this definition of the ultimate friendship: sacrificial love. Friendship isn't only about convenience or shared interests. It's about being willing to prioritize someone else's well-being, even at personal cost. This doesn't always mean literal death, but it does mean sacrifice. A friend might lay down their life by giving up their time to help you move houses, setting aside money to support you in an emergency, or sacrificing comfort to stand with you in an unpopular moment. True friendship asks, am I willing to inconvenience myself for someone else's good? This principle challenges today's transactional culture, where relationships are often maintained only if there's something to gain. Real friendship isn't about keeping score, it's about giving selflessly. Interestingly, such sacrifices don't weaken friendships, they strengthen them, building bonds that outlast changing circumstances. Let us look up to Christ, who demonstrated perfect friendship by laying down his life for humanity. His example sets the standard for all our relationships. Real love is proven by action, not just words. Evaluate your friendships. Are they built on comfort or commitment? The strongest friendships are those where both parties are willing to give, even when it hurts. That's the kind of love Jesus calls us to embody. 4. Ecclesiastes 4 verses 9 to 10. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Friendship is not just about having fun together, it's also about supporting each other in times of need. This passage paints a vivid picture of the strength that comes from companionship. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how strong or independent we think we are, there will always be moments when we stumble, emotionally, financially, or spiritually. True friends are those who lift us up when we fall, and we do the same for them. Think about a student who is struggling with exams. Having a friend who studies with them, encourages them, or even shares notes makes the journey much easier. Or consider an entrepreneur whose business is going through a hard season. A supportive friend who offers encouragement, advice, or even just listening ears can help them keep going. It's easy to underestimate the value of friends who are present when life gets tough. This verse reminds us that friendship is an investment of support and loyalty, not just about being around when things are good. A wise person nurtures these kinds of friendships, because when life inevitably brings challenges, having someone to help us up can make all the difference. Choose friends who won't abandon you in hard times, and be that kind of friend to others. 5. Job 2 verse 11. When Job's 3 friends, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite, heard about all the troubles that had come upon him, they set out from their homes and met together by agreement to go and sympathize with him and comfort him. Friendship is tested in times of crisis. Job's friends may have failed him later with their misguided advice, but in this moment, they did something powerful. They showed up. When Job was crushed by tragedy, his friends left their homes, traveled, and simply sat with him. Their initial presence was an act of compassion and solidarity. Friendship is not only about words or solutions. Sometimes it's about simply being there. When a loved one loses a family member, faces unemployment, or struggles with depression, often they don't need speeches or advice. What they need most is someone willing to sit beside them, share their pain, and let them know they are not alone. It's easy to send a quick, sorry text and feel like we've done enough. But this verse challenges us to go further, to show up in person if we can, to make time, to sacrifice convenience. Real friendship requires presence. True friends don't run from the storm. They run toward you when the storm hits. And in turn, we must strive to be present for our friends, especially when life knocks them down. 6. John 15 verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Friendship is not just about enjoying each other's company, but about being willing to put your friend's needs above your own. While Jesus was pointing to his coming sacrifice on the cross, the principle applies to everyday friendship too. Sacrificial love doesn't always mean dying physically. It means giving of ourselves. Maybe it's sacrificing time to help a friend move into a new house, giving up comfort to stay up late comforting a friend who's heartbroken, or lending money we know we might not get back. Real friends put aside selfishness when someone they love needs them. This kind of friendship is rare but deeply rewarding. It builds unbreakable trust because the other person knows you value them enough to make sacrifices. In return, those friendships become life-giving, safe spaces where both people can thrive. In a world where many relationships are transactional, I'll do this for you if you do this for me, we are called to selfless, sacrificial friendship. The lesson here: friendship is proven not in what we gain but in what we're willing to give. 7. Colossians 3 verse 13. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. Friendship is not free from friction. Disagreements, misunderstandings, and even offenses are bound to happen because no one is perfect. This verse highlights forgiveness as an essential ingredient for lasting friendships. Without forgiveness, resentment grows, and even the strongest bonds break down. Think about 2 close friends who get into a heated argument. Maybe one said something careless in anger, or failed to show up when needed. The temptation is to hold on to the hurt, replaying the moment again and again. But friendship cannot survive in an atmosphere of bitterness. Forgiveness doesn't mean ignoring the hurt, but choosing to release it, just as God forgives us daily. Forgiveness also requires humility. It takes maturity to admit, I value this friendship more than I value holding on to this offense. Often, forgiving a friend strengthens the bond, because it deepens trust and proves the relationship is strong enough to survive conflict. Friendship thrives where forgiveness is freely given. Instead of cutting people off at the first mistake, we should practice extending the same grace we hope to receive. 8. Romans 12 verse 15. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. True friendship is not just about showing up in tough times, but also celebrating sincerely in moments of joy. Sometimes, it's harder to genuinely rejoice with a friend's success than to console them in their sorrow. Jealousy and comparison can sneak in when a friend gets a promotion, marries before us, or achieve something we've long desired. But real friendship requires celebrating others without envy. Imagine a friend who lands a dream job. A true friend doesn't secretly wish it was them instead. They show up with excitement, cheer loudly, and maybe even throw a small celebration. Similarly, when sorrow strikes, like the loss of a loved one, a true friend mourns alongside them, not rushing them to move on, but entering their grief with compassion. Friendship is about emotional solidarity. It's about aligning our hearts with those we love, whether in laughter or tears. That kind of presence builds bonds that withstand both joy and pain. A good friend celebrates your wins as if they were their own, and shares your burdens as if they were theirs. 9. Proverbs 27 verse 17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Friendship is a sharpening process. Friends are not just companions for fun or comfort. They play an active role in shaping who we become. Just like iron blades sharpen each other through contact, friends sharpen each other through honest conversations, accountability, and even constructive criticism. This could mean a friend challenging us to pursue our goals more seriously, pointing out blind spots we don't see in ourselves, or encouraging us to grow in faith, discipline, or character. These conversations may not always feel comfortable, but they are necessary for growth. Someone tempted to make an unwise financial decision, like overspending on something unnecessary. A real friend won't just smile and stay quiet. They'll speak up, even if it risks tension, because they care about the long-term well-being of their friend. We should choose friends who sharpen us, not dull us. Likewise, we must also be the kind of friends who encourage growth rather than enabling harmful choices. Friendship should make you wiser, stronger, and better, not stagnant or weaker. 10. Ruth 1 verses 16 to 17. But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go I will go, and where you stay I will stay. Your people will be my people and your God my God. Where you die I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me." Ruth's declaration to Naomi is one of the most powerful demonstrations of loyalty in Scripture. Although this was a daughter-in-law to a mother-in-law, it perfectly illustrates what deep, unwavering friendship looks like. Ruth didn't stay because it was convenient. She stayed because her love and loyalty went beyond circumstances. In modern times, friendships often end when they no longer feel beneficial. People walk away when money dries up, when popularity fades, or when distance makes things less convenient. But Ruth shows us that real friendship is covenantal. It's about commitment, not convenience. Consider someone going through a season of illness, financial hardship, or even a fall from grace. Fair-weather friends may disappear, but loyal friends remain, saying in their own way, "Where you go, I will go." Such loyalty gives strength and hope to someone in despair. Friendship is not just about being there when things are good. It's about standing firm when things are hard. True friends stick closer than circumstances. 11. Proverbs 27 verse 9. Perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. Wise counsel is important in friendship. Just as sweet fragrances lift our spirits, the heartfelt advice of a friend brings refreshment and clarity to our lives. A true friend doesn't just agree with everything we say. They offer honest, thoughtful guidance that helps us make better decisions. A young professional uncertain about a career move. A good friend won't simply say, "Do whatever makes you happy." Instead, they'll ask thoughtful questions, weigh the risks, and even point out strengths or weaknesses the person may not see. This kind of advice is not shallow. It is rooted in care and insight. The danger today is surrounding ourselves with yes men, people who affirm everything we do without challenging us. Such friendships feel good temporarily but lack depth. A wise friend brings perspective, sometimes even pointing us away from harmful choices. Their words refresh like a fragrance because they bring peace, direction, and confidence. Seek friends who give advice from the heart, not just from flattery. And be the type of friend whose words uplift, guide, and bring joy. 12. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 11. Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Encouragement is one of the most powerful gifts we can give in friendship. Everyone faces discouragement, doubt, or feelings of inadequacy. A true friend doesn't just notice, but actively works to lift their friend's spirit. Someone starting a new project or stepping into a new role may feel nervous, questioning if they're good enough. A friend who speaks words of belief, "You've got this," "I believe in you," "You're more capable than you think," can completely change their outlook. Such encouragement fuels perseverance. On the flip side, friendships without encouragement can feel draining. Constant criticism, comparison, or silence in moments of need can crush a person's spirit. This verse calls us to be intentional in building up our friends, using words and actions to inspire confidence and joy. In our digital age, even a thoughtful text, call, or message of encouragement can brighten someone's day. Encouragement doesn't cost money, but it adds incredible value. Be the kind of friend who builds others up, not tears them down. Our words and actions should strengthen our friends' faith, courage, and joy. 13. 1 Samuel 20 verse 42. Jonathan said to David, "Go in peace, for we have sworn friendship with each other in the name of the Lord, saying, 'The Lord is witness between you and me, and between your descendants and my descendants forever.'" There was an extraordinary friendship between Jonathan and David. Jonathan risked his father Saul's wrath to protect David because he recognized David's calling and loved him as a true friend. Here, friendship is portrayed as a covenant, something sacred and binding, not casual or disposable. True friends sometimes have to protect each other, even when it costs them something. This might mean standing up for a friend being slandered when others stay silent, warning a friend about harmful decisions, or even defending them in dangerous situations. Such protective loyalty shows that real friendship is about putting the other's well-being above our own safety or comfort. Jonathan and David's friendship also teaches us that friendships can be anchored in God. Their bond wasn't just emotional. It had a spiritual foundation. Friendships rooted in faith are often the strongest because they are tied to eternal values, not temporary gains. True friendship protects, defends, and even sacrifices when necessary, because it is anchored in loyalty and God's truth. 14. Philippians 2 verse 2. Then make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and of one mind. Paul speaks about unity, which applies beautifully to friendship. One of the greatest gifts of friendship is the joy of companionship. Friends who share the same values, dreams, and mutual care bring immense happiness into each other's lives. Think about friends who love doing the same things together. Whether it's traveling, studying, worshiping, or even working on business ideas. Their togetherness multiplies joy because they are like-minded and share the same spirit. Such friendships are life-giving and energizing. Joy in friendship comes not just from shared activities, but from shared love and unity. Disunity and selfishness can drain a relationship. But when friends act with the same love, prioritizing each other's happiness and being of one spirit, the bond becomes a source of joy rather than stress. Friendship multiplies joy when both people are united in love, respect, and purpose. 15. James 2 verse 23. And the scripture was fulfilled that says, Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness, and he was called God's friend. Here we see the highest level of friendship, friendship with God. While this verse speaks about Abraham's relationship with God, it also shows us what spiritual depth looks like in friendship. If Abraham could be called God's friend, it tells us that our friendships should also have a divine dimension. Friendships rooted in faith go beyond surface-level fun or support. They push us toward God, encourage us to grow spiritually, and keep us accountable in our walk of faith. Such friendships are not just about temporary life circumstances, but about eternal destiny. Two friends who pray together, study scripture together, or encourage each other in their spiritual journeys. That bond is deeper than one built only on hobbies or shared interests, because it connects to the soul. Friendships that include God's presence are resilient and purposeful. The deepest and strongest friendships are those that draw us closer to God, just like Abraham was drawn into intimacy with Him.